I posted on Instagram stories, define love, full stop. And it's an interesting question. Obviously, I'm dealing with love. I wish I could say I'm dealing with loss, but I don't think I've lost anything. Firstly, appreciate the new angle. Welcome. And what is the definition of love? And I've been thinking about it because I do believe that love is the answer. And we sit in a world where there's so much logic, and you're like, yeah, you love, but logically you shouldn't, or logically there's, something else. By the way, a blister band-aid that I've just pulled off my leg. Amazing. Love, courage. Love is courage. That's the answer. Love is courage. And in my relationship, in this previous relationship, which I don't think it's the end. To be honest, I'm sitting here, and after everything I've gone through, she's got things to work on, I've got things to work on, but more so, the only thing that we really both have to work on is courage. Me starting to send the emails was courage to share how I felt. That I was so in love with her that I was worried that she would leave if I said anything else other than what she wanted to do. I needed more courage to say, hey, I need to go do the stuff that's really important to me, and I love you, and I'm going to do the stuff that's really important to me, and while I'm doing it, I'm petrified that I'm not going to give you enough attention and that you're going to leave me. I didn't say those things because I didn't have the courage to do so. And therefore, she doesn't get to know me on the inside. Instead, you get this other weird character. She needs courage to be able to say stuff. She's right now writing, or she's thinking about things that she wished she could have said or should have said or can say now but can't. And love is courage. Courage to love even when you've been hurt. I was living together with an ex, and I had a best friend as well. I worked with him. We all hung out as a trio, and they cheated on me behind my back. That broke my heart. And then I still have courage to love. And in this relationship, she is the one, not the one. I believe so much the one that I don't think that many people in the entire world are ever lucky to find somebody that's so exactly the same. It's like almost our worldview was the same. Almost our traumas were lined up in similar ways. And I know that people go, oh, well, that's because they're copying you, that's because they're this, and yeah, maybe. But it's also, we're similar, but I was the hyper masculine and she was the hyper feminine. And the problem was, well, not the problem, I sat there and I resisted the hyper feminine, and she resisted the hyper masculine, and we resisted meeting in the middle. Yet love takes courage. It took courage for me to see the hyper feminine, which goes against everything that I was brought up with. My mum is not hyper feminine. Russian Soviet raw lady, like rah. No. In fact, she would berate my sister for wearing makeup. She'd be like, you're an idiot. You're Jesus, that all that matters. Projection. project, like every female wants to be a female, every male wants to be a male, every male wants to be raw, every female wants to be, I'm just a girl, you know. But we get, you know, caught in stuff. And me, the hypermasculine, she didn't have any hypermasculine figures in her life at all, not even a father that's hypermasculine. So the courage to stay in that and believe that I still had her best interests at heart and that the hypermasculine wasn't wrong. We both saw the world in a similar way. The world and life as art. It's like a low-grade level of depression, or not depression, but seeing the world as it is, like the real world as it is. And the real world isn't pretty. People are in poverty. Most people, 99.9% of people are in jobs that they hate, and they're dying inside. They live for the weekend. They buy things that they don't need. They sell themselves on buying things that are brand names to feel like they belong. They drink to poison themselves to connect because they can't deeply connect with anybody. And then they eat food which spikes dopamine and serotonin that gives them mild pleasure, and then wake up the next day groggy and being like, well, I deserve that, and repeat the cycle. Love takes courage. It takes courage to be vulnerable. It takes courage to be like, here's my heart, please don't break it. It takes courage to stand there naked and be ready to be fully rejected. Now get this, there's ways of standing naked that people are like, well, I'm naked, I'm showing everything, but you're not showing everything. If you want deeper love, if you want deeper connection, you must show courage. Here I am in the flesh. And we both, in fact, probably my partner more than I, to be honest, if I'm really honest, she showed more courage than me. I showed courage by letting her completely into my world and completely saying, I have no idea, and there's courage. Maybe not more or less, but different. But she showed courage in the relationship where she said, hey, I've just realized like was kind of lying to you for a year, or trying to be similar to you because I was like, the truth was skewed in my head, and I'm sorry, while she loved deeply. We were on our way to show more and more courage. And really, the breakup happened because, well, not because, we had just had a four-way, and something spiked something, and she was already, insecure and anxious, and a conversation spiked something. If you've been here, the video is all about it. And all we needed there was courage to stick in there. It's like, okay, cool. Let's backtrack. Let's work out us. Like, what's going on for us? Like, love is courage. Love is courage. Without courage, there is no love. And your love and the depth of your love and your experience between you and your significant other, or you and people, is the amount of courage you show. Do you know how you love people? You be courageous enough to be vulnerable. When someone says, hey, how's your day going? You know what I say? I go, here's what's going on with my ex, here's what's this, here's what's this, here's what's this, here's my heart. And guess what? Not everybody gets it, and that's okay. But the people that hear it, it opens up a whole new world of connection, and we start almost connected like this, simpatico. Love is courage. There is love all around us. All of us just want to love each other. Every single one of us. Every single one is yearning for love, to show love, to be loved. It all just takes courage. Love is courage. I know I repeat it, I repeat it. But what's your definition of love? Some people say it's hard work. What's the hard work? The hard work is courage. Courage to do the work. Courage to be like, this person is a completely different human being and I love them, but That's the hard work. The hard work is having the courage to be like, okay, this is hard work, and let's strip it back to the basics. Feels very spiritual, this love thing, and today every day I feel deeply, deeply connected and blessed that I ever even met my ex-partner. But I don't think it's the end. I can't imagine a world ever where it's not the end. And I want it to be. I've tried to be. She's tried to be. I don't know where she's at. She's called me a narcissist. I've said, nah, how could she do this to me? I've tried. I've wrote lists of why it's wrong. But it isn't wrong. And it's funny, everyone has their opinions, but no one was in the actual relationship to be able to understand the depth of that connection. And the depth of that connection is just profound. Profound. You know, mum's saying opinion, she's like, just let it go, relationship done, it's dragging you down. You can't understand, it's not dragging me down. This relationship has changed my entire life and will continue to do so. This relationship is the biggest blessing I've ever had in my entire life. I feel that I was meant for more because this relationship existed. I feel like life isn't real because I have this relationship. Like, this is impossible to get. Impossible beyond any of the wildest expectations you can ever imagine. And there it is. Love is the answer between you. It's to love yourself. Have the courage to love yourself when you might not have anything to love yourself for. Have the courage to give yourself to somebody when inside you think you've got nothing to give. Have the courage to be with another human and be ready to be fully rejected, not received, and turned down, and all the rest of it. And if you don't have the courage, you're going to live a life that's going to be dull, bland, filled with anxiety, filled with this constant alone, just chasing, running, chasing the next thing, not the next thing. Love is genuinely all you need, and love is courage. Be courageous. Be courageous in here is my heart. You know, they go, oh, I'm a type of person that wears my heart on my sleeve. Everyone should be that type of person. It's courage. It's courage. And many people, even really rich people and really successful people, don't have that courage. They've been burnt enough times and they're not. They don't show that courage. They'll have courage in specific areas, but don't show me, I don't want anybody to see me. Oh no, I could get hurt. That's life. If you want to experience the highest of highs of connectedness and profound, deep connection and love, you have to be also at the same time prepared for it to rip out your soul and feel like the world is ending. Courage. Be courageous, friend. I'll see you tomorrow.